basement, me, my pen and my pad. Started thinking about things I never had. Was broke as a joke, ain't never laughed.
There is a black culture problem. I know people, they don't admit it. They don't want to accept the fact that we have a black culture problem in sports. It's an ever-growing trend, and so someone's gonna say it. So we're gonna talk about that. Actually, who am I kidding? What's good, y'all? It's your boy, Flitz up here. Always keep it a stack, always keep it a buck. We're gonna have a pack. We're gonna be talking Eagles. We're gonna be talking. I told you I was gonna be talking about Stefon Diggs, Cardi B, that whole 304 thing. We're gonna be talking James Pearce. We might get a little Sixers at the end, but there's a black culture problem in the NFL, the NBA, YN culture especially. I'm going to start with James Pearce. So we have a guy here making millions of dollars to play football. First round pick, went to an SEC school, all that. I want to know like how hard it is to not throw that all away, face prison time over a girl. Like it can't be that good, bruh. It cannot be. It's never that good. I know she's a WNBA player, man. It's not that good, bro. And for those who don't know, James Pearce, pretty much allegedly, stalked Kia Jackson. Y'all might recognize the name from LSU days. Now LA Sparks chased her down while she was going to the police department, rammed her car, ran over a police officer, sprinted away from the police on foot, all over a girl. Now, that high school report of James Pearce Jr., high school teammate, pretty much saying Brody's a crash out, it's pretty much valid now. There were reports of him at Tennessee, just wilding out, crashing out. But there's a reoccurring theme here. There's a reoccurring issue here with young black players. And this is not a hating thing because, well, some of y'all out there, y'all know who you are. I think I hate on black people. I don't know how that is. I'm a black athlete. I don't know how that is. But this is the kind of stuff that we're seeing. Like we see it with Zion and Ja in the NBA. We're seeing it with James Pearce Jr. We're going to talk about Stefon Diggs. Just how hard is it to be like Russell Wilson? How hard is it to be like Jalen Hurts? Just you are making millions. I don't think people understand. People let bro live. Like he's going to learn. You are a grown man. Millions of dollars. And by the way, the Atlanta Falcons, I was talking to my cousin, shout out Z. They're in a world of trouble. You traded 2 first-round picks essentially, like your first-round pick this year to the Rams, who are probably going to get they need someone in the second there, so they're probably going to get maybe the guy from LSU or Tulane. So you let the Rams get better, and the guy you got, who had a great 10.5 sack rookie season, has now probably thrown it away for a girl. It's never worth it. Like we have seen so many people, so many play. It's the same. It's the reoccurring theme here. Especially in the NBA, it's the same. It's always the same 5 women that is always involved in these things. And this is just something that because I don't really talk about this kind of stuff, but it gets to a point where what are we doing? James Pearce, I feel for, in one sense, I feel for a guy, maybe there's some mental stuff he's dealing with or whatever. If that's the case, bro, you got to get yourself checked out. But at the same time, bro, you are a grown man. millions of dollars. And you probably just ended up like Henry Ruggs. Like arrest, dude. Like going intentionally evading arrest. Like everybody thinks that's like a joke. Like it's all fun and games. And so you're locked, bro. That's like 5 years, man. And you know, like there's just too many instances off the top of my head. Like just go to of players like just doing like doing stuff off the field. Like what are we like Tyreek Hill, like his situation, like kid situation. Like bro, what are we doing? What are we doing? Like be serious, man. More kids than touchdowns. Be serious. But yeah, dude, James Pearce Jr. So someone's got to talk to him, man, because you can't. It's not even a football thing. You can't go through life. You can't go through life like this. It's unfortunate. Wouldn't be surprised, gets cut. Because this is serious stuff, man. Now we're gonna move into the other guy that I've been calling for years for the DMV to disown this dude because there's too much instances of, once again, what are we doing? Be serious. Stefon Diggs. Now, on one hand, I'm like, Stefon Diggs is a grown man. Like, you know what he's gonna do. You keep on going for the people. Once again, players, they always have to go for the same 5 women. It seems like it's always the same person involved. Cardi B. Now, Cardi B obviously was clearly in another relationship, all this stuff, before Stefon Diggs. Stefon Diggs, apparently, not just her, but like 3 other women. Like, it gets to a point where kind of looking at it, and then when your production on the field, I know he actually had a very respectable, decent season. But when it gets to a point where on the field production, like because in the Super Bowl, like what was it, two for 38? That's all you could give us. This is just what we're seeing. For Stefon Diggs to go through all this, all the off the field allegation. Once again, nothing's confirmed. He's not charged with anything. But there's the chef thing, like in December. I just can't. Why? See, and people feel like, well, he's innocent. Why are you even in that situation? Once again, we're looking at other people across the league. We're looking at Devontae Smith. We're looking at JSN. We're looking at all these other, top tier receivers. We're looking at Jettas. None of these other guys are even putting themselves in the position to be with, a known person who's known to, evade, relationships. Like, they're not even doing those things. And once again, this is a black culture issue of, YN, and everybody's tough, everybody's cool, everybody's flying around until you're not. And, this is just, this I feel like I had to just talk about and mention, because especially with the James Pearce thing, I don't know what, I mean, I know people like Dion do a great job, trying to get these people back on the right track. Also, we don't know these people, how they were raised. We don't know. But I do know, to go from the NFL awards one day and then to flip that back, and 2 days later you're getting arrested in broad daylight, running over cops in broad daylight. Like, be serious, dog. Can you be serious? Like, it's just, it is really, because the black people that'll say, "Oh, let him live." When Trayvon Diggs and CeeDee Lamb got blown out by the Houston Texans and went to the club right after to film a music video, and black people were like, "Let them do them, let them." That's why that's some of y'all don't get it. The ones that are actually successful, even after a win, are they going out the club, bro, it would be one thing maybe you won the game or you know barely lost, but it was a shootout. You lost 34-10, and you immediately went to go film a music video. That's why some of y'all will never know what it's like to be successful. Y'all, people don't understand. And it's okay. And this is not a whole thing. There's no such thing as all every. But it's becoming an issue. When people are just like, let them live, let them do them. When letting them do them is actually harming themselves, people are afraid to be a real friend, a real brother, and tell bro, yo, you gotta lock in, this ain't it. It's really that simple. And they might stop becoming your friend, but that's what they need to hear. Because we cannot continue. We cannot continue to get young black athletes throw careers down the drain because of whatever they're involved in when there was a youth. We got to help them get out of it. I want to see black people succeed. Y'all think I want them to fail? Bro, you listen to Jalen Hurts. We are Eagles fans. We listen to Jalen Hurts. We listen to Devontae Smith, Brandon Graham. Great black role models. And then we got dudes, just fresh out of college, crashing out over one girl. Like, come on, bro. Really? And once again, for people who are like, just let them live, Paul, like you don't know. Here's what I do know. I know that this man's career is most likely over because people like you told that man to live his life and it's going to be all good. Now look at him. This is just something that I know this is like a 10-minute rant now, but this is just something I feel this needs to be brought more attention, more light on, because I can't take it. I can't take, another Henry Ruggs because he didn't have, that circle. He was living young and dangerous. We can't continue to let YN culture define black people, and that's okay. I'm sorry that I wanted James Pearce to be better. I'm sorry that I wanted Henry Ruggs to be better. I'm sorry that I wanted all these guys, Zion, John Morant, Ben Simmons. I'm sorry that I wanted those guys to be successful. Blame me. But hey, y'all know who you are. You guys are going to continue what you're going to do. We're going to continue what we're going to do and uplift those who want to put in the work. Guys like VJ Edgecombe, Tyrese Maxey, Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith. Those are the guys we're going to continue to focus on. Guys who want to put in the work, uplift that positive image. Now on to what I thought was a great game. Even though a lot of people, offensive-minded guys, which is okay. But I just thought it was great to have back-to-back great defensive showings in the Super Bowl. I think sees volumes in a league where you're not allowed to hit anymore. Like literally like Cam Chancellor, even like Kareem Jackson. Kareem Jackson, the hits Kareem Jackson was laying on dudes 2 years ago, like you can't do that anymore. But the Seattle Seahawks, great defensive showing. Shout out to Marcus Lawrence. Wonder how Cowboys fans are feeling today. But Seattle, they did what they had to do. Witherspoon, Nick Emenwari. To say Nick Emenwari could be the next Derwin James, Buda Baker, Troy Polamalu is not because everybody you want to strive for the greatest. But Nick Emenwari, this kid is special. Now, I saw this guy in South Carolina, and one thing you know about South Carolina, they're going to produce some DBs. They're going to produce some defense. This guy, the way he gets off the ball, off the line, slot blitz, the way he can, cover, his hip turn on out routes, his get out to the ball, insanely quick. He's big enough where he can knock out a tight end. Like this guy, all around, After Andrew Makuba, hindsight is 2020, but after Malachi Starks and Andrew Makuba, I personally had Nick Minowori next. Right now, objectively, Nick Minowori is better than those two guys. Me personally, I think Makuba was having a slightly better season than Starks. Even though Starks was obviously the most highly touted prospect, best all-around DB in college football last year at Georgia. But to see what Nick Minowori is doing is just... he's going to be a problem for a very long time. That sucks if you're Trey McBride. That sucks if you're George Kittle. But hey, that sucks if you're Colby Parkinson. But what are you going to do? Seattle. And let's go to Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold proved himself to be a top 4 quarterback in the NFC. You've got Matthew Stafford. You've got Jalen Hurts. You've got Brock Purdy. You've got Sam Darnold. Now, if you want to interchange Purdy and Darnold, I got you. Darnold. I think the Niners were swept by Seattle this year. I think. I'm not completely sure on like the week 2 matchup or whatever it was. But Sam Darnold, when you absolutely needed him, he didn't turn. The one thing he knew, don't turn the ball over. Most likely New England doesn't have the talent to match up with our defense. And it was on full display. Oh, man. This is bad. This is very bad. To reiterate, Sam Darnold knew all I have to do is not turn the ball over, and the defense will take care of everything. Will Campbell, it was a rough day. Rookie, left tackle, biggest stage. No matter how good or bad you think he's going to be, that's a very tough spot. But D-Law gave him the work. Ernest Jones gave him the work. Hall gave him the work. And that's objective. That's spade a spade. And I know I picked New England to win, but I did not account for Drake May throwing it into harm's way late, trying to clearly get all of it back in one throw. That's clearly not possible. Should have been intercepted on the first one. It's a triple coverage. But on the next one, Julian Love said, let me take care of this. Ended right here. But New England, they'll be okay. They need a true wide receiver. What they have now is nice, but if you want to compete, hey, Justin Jefferson, not too happy right now. You know, you got some guys around the league. If you want to go full in on like a Terry McLaurin, like there's some guys. George Pickens, obviously, I don't think he's going to be available. But New England, they gotta go get someone because this can't. Maybe Jalen Waddle. I know that's in the vision, but hey, they need something. But Drake May did not have his best day, and we gotta admit it. He got outplayed. He was outmatched. His O-line didn't help him. His running game didn't help him. But it was not a great day for Drake May. Sam Darnold, no, his offense wasn't exactly humming either. But late, touchdown that broke the game open. New England came back, but you know Seattle's defense had it on clamps for the majority of the game. And real quick again, shout out. So, what was that? In June, when D-Law said Dallas is home and all is great, I'm never going to win the Super Bowl here. I'm going out west. Cowboys fans were trolling. Oh, you got Sam Darnold and all this, who, by the way, has more playoff wins than Dak in 2 seasons. You playoff wins and this and that, and, you know, Cowboys are going to go further. And here we are. Here we are. It's a great day. Shout out D-Law. He did, you know, he had an impact. It's not like he was just along for the ride. But shout out to Marcus Lawrence, Super Bowl champion. And shout out Sam Darnold, who has more playoff wins in one run than Dak Prescott does in his whole career. You got it, Dak. You got it. You are the man. Or maybe it's the same. Y'all don't quote me on that. But hey, Seattle did what they had to do. They won this ball game. Hey, we're going to be back. Eagles will be back. And let's talk about real quick. Now we know Jeff Stoutland is not replaceable, but the Eagles got a very solid, very good hire. Chris Cooper, placing Jeff Stoutland as O-line coach. Cooper, former Broncos coach, worked with new coordinator Sean Mannion when he was in Minnesota and helped improve the Vikings O-line. That Vikings O-line with Darnold, that was a very good O-line. Before injuries, I think to Darisaw, Cam Robinson, that was a very good, I think Bradbury, the center in the middle, that was a very good O-line before injuries decimated it, and we saw how he looked in that playoff game against the Rams. But Chris Cooper, very good hire. That was on the level of Vic Fangio. No one's on the level of Vic Fangio, but very good, very solid hire. Looking forward to the offensive line have a resurgence next season. But hey, they're going to need a couple more things. A.J. Brown, got to figure that out. Dwayne Johnson, Dickerson, retirement. They got to answer some questions. Defensively, as far as free agents go, re-sign Phillips, you're going to re-sign Blankenship. Who's staying, who's going? Obviously, I think a corner will be drafted in the first or second round, either an O-line or a corner. And if AJ were to leave, maybe I've been hearing a lot about Kenyon Sadiq. I'm not too sure about that one, especially if AJ's staying. And we'll see what the pay for Goddard is. We all know his blocking is not the best, but he is more of a receiving tight end. And we'll see more about that as we get it more into March. New calendar year. But this Eagles team, really excited to see what's going on. Real quick, last thing. Real quick thing on the Sixers. I'm still not over Jared McCain. I've been listening to a lot of Mike McDonald. Keep forgetting. We're not on the same team anymore. It's tough. When you give up a really promising player, yeah, he might not fit in the rotation right now, or to give him up for half a bag of Cheetos, like it hurts. And then for that to be your big move was a negative, and you didn't do anything after that except sign like Patrick Baldwin to a 2-way. Like, come, Daryl Morey, be serious. But hey, they've been looking good. I will admit that they have. That's all I will say is they have been looking good. Big time win over the Phoenix Buns the other night. But hey, this Sixers team, it's gonna come down to is Embiid healthy. McCain and VJ can do all this. PG, don't get me started with him. But it all comes down to Embiid's health down the stretch, whether or not the Sixers will get past a Boston, a New York, a Detroit. But hey, man, it's your boy, Philly Taco PA. Always keep it a stack. Always keep it a buck. We'll probably do a bit more in-depth Sixers end of the week. Let them get a couple more games in. But until next time, I'm going to see y'all.